Hi, this is a quick demonstration on using the DNO client from a developer's perspective. So as you can see, I've got the project loaded here in Visual Studio 2005. So to start using it, just start a debug session, and then you select S for server, and you can just minimize that and leave it minimized. You don't really need it for anything. There's a few commands in there, but they're not really relevant here. Then you start a new instance, right click on the project, select debug, start new instance, press C for client. At the moment there's no login graphic user interface, so you just use the console commands at this point. So press enter for the default IP address being localhost. Then to spawn your spaceship, press S and type in a username for your spawned character. The client then loads the game map. It defaults to the Sol star system, and it loads each of the game objects. It generally doesn't take this long, but I think Camtasia slows it down considerably. Once it's loaded everything, you can start controlling the ship. Just wait and see if it loads. Here we go. The first thing you see is the system name of the player, and the current speed. Now the speed there is a float. The idea is that an actual player is going to be moving some relative to what we're looking at here between 0 and 1, so they'll be travelling at like 0.01 or 0.001 or something. The speeds we're travelling at in this demonstration are debugging speeds, so we don't have to wait for a long time to test anything. So the first key you'll need to use is N for navigation. It brings up the console. You can scroll here and have a look what's in the objects that are in the current game map. You probably can't read it, but essentially it's a list of the planets. If I want to go to Earth, I can double click on Earth, and the GUI points your ship at Earth, because I'm not sure if you can see it, it's a little blue dot here. To travel, to move, you use the WASD keys to look around. So you've got blue keys, you can do any of them at the same time. And to roll your ship, you can use Q and E. So probably familiar with most of those keys, a lot of games use them. So now we'll point back at Earth. Okay, and to move, generally you use the up and down arrow keys to increase your velocity, but because that's the regular game speed, we don't want to sit there and watch that because it'll take a while to get there. So I've added 2 extra commands. There's a 0 and 1 key. 0 increases your speed by 20. And then 1 stops you full halt. So as you can see, we just got there quite quickly. Now to enter the game map for the planet Earth, we simply fly into it. At the moment, because we're using debug kind of speeds, we wouldn't realistically expect to fly into the planet at the speed that we can go, so we need to go at a speed that we could actually go at. Once you fly into the planet, you find yourself in the map. It's a terrain map, and you can also see you can't really see very well here, the items here, which is Earth surface, shop 1, base, house 1, house 2. Now these are just example models I've put in. You can fly over the surface here. There's a bit of fog which stops the complete game map from being revealed immediately. There's basically a wall around the map. You fly over the wall, you go back out into space. So essentially that's the deal. It's a big game map, but I can go speed up a bit. So we can see the speed that you can actually travel at is when general play isn't this fast, but you know, you'd take a little while to travel from one part to another. Later on I'm going to make it so you can tile these terrain zones and link them together and everything, so you have very large maps. The idea here is that the players can find a flat bit of surface, and you know, when they've enough money to buy it, build their own bases, they can build it, you know, RTS style, and you know, buy better ships and fly around with, you know, more cargo, mine the planet, everything. The idea is that Earth itself is has more resources than, you know, the rest of the solar system. Anyway, to leave the current game map, you pretty much just fly up, and you'll leave the game map. See there that we're back out in space and we're back next to Earth. Another example of a map that isn't so hospitable is Mercury. So we're going to have a look at Mercury. Once again, I'm travelling at a speed which is unrealistic for actual gameplay. The idea is that, you know, there's some hazard involved in travelling between planets, you know, AI and whatnot trying to kill you, as well as other players. So we'll just fly into Mercury and have a look what this looks like. And there you go, it's a totally different map, different fog colour, and you can see it doesn't look very good. There's not many places here where you can build your base, but there are places, it just won't be very good. The resources, the idea is the resources here will be different. There'll be no food, you'll have to ship food here, but there might be, you know, solid gold sitting on the surface of the planet, so you don't know until you try and mine it. So you'll have to see what the situation was. So as you can see here, let's fly around, same sort of deal. It's a map with walls preventing you from going over. In debug mode right now you can actually just go over it a little bit, and that allows you to have a look around outside and test things, but the idea essentially is that players won't be able to do that. It's very, you know, if you go just a few pixels above the top of the wall, you'll essentially leave the system, the game map, and you'll go back out into space. So as you can see here, this is about the speed you'd expect a player with a really fast ship to fly around the map, and as you can see, it's from one wall to another. It takes a little while. Once again, these will be tiled, maybe you can multiply it by 50, you know, who knows. It depends on the performance of how the network engine works with multiple people logged into it, and size of the maps and whatnot. I don't think it would be a big deal though. So essentially that's it. You can fly around. In the next examples video, I will show you how to add elements to these maps, how to create them, how to add them. At the moment I've only done one star system. You'll be able to travel to other star systems obviously, and I haven't even finished this one yet. I haven't really spent much time on that, so I need to work on that. So I've done Mercury, Venus and Earth at this point, and you can see that there's a great variance. Without any additional programming we can add just by changing some graphics and you know, some colours and things. Anyway, that's about the size of it. We'll just go back out, and we're just there. So maybe we have a quick look at Venus. I'll peek at Venus. As you can see, once again, very different map. It doesn't take much effort to actually change the maps, so they're just a height map as well as a detail map and a texture map. It's more user-friendly, this map, evidently. I mean, once again, it's totally customizable without any programming. So it's the same sort of deal. Let's speed up a little bit. You can fly around here at some good speeds as an admin and have a look at the maps. But yeah, pretty much that's it. The other thing I really didn't cover is, you know, you can fire a few bullets off. What that does, it creates the objects in the game map. We'll fly out again, have a quick look at the actual console commands. The console command P essentially shows you a list of all the objects. This won't be in game obviously, but in debug mode we can have a look at the objects. We've got the star, the light source, and the vectors for each of the planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, etc. And later on I'll give an example of how to modify or create those data sets, and you'll be able to have a go at creating your own star systems or adding new planets and surfaces and drawing them. And that's about all for now. Thanks.